Students, you are able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
You're able to see the white screen that I have shared?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Yes. We'll start the class immediately. Okay, good morning to once again to all of you. So last class we were doing, we had come to the fag end of the fourth module. That is, we were talking of how to find covariance for discrete random variables. Okay, we are still left with to find out covariance of continuous random variable, which I will be taking it up a little later. Okay, that let us come finish some concepts of the fifth module as well, and then I will again touch upon how to find out the covariance of continuous random variable. That is still pending. So let us start with our next module, okay, which is graph theory. So this is the last module of our syllabus. So let us start with graph theory module 5. You are all able to see? Can I have some response, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay. Now first let us look as usual, before we go into the problems of related to graph theory, let us look at some important definitions. Okay. So first let us see how we can define what is a graph. All right. Anyone? Can I have some response? All of you, anyone who learned about graph theory, can you define what is a graph? Anybody? Okay. A graph G we represent it as an ordered pair. We all know now what is an ordered pair is V comma E, where V is the set of vertices and E is the set of edges. That means a graph G is a graph which is made up of always vertices as well as edges. Okay, every edge has either one or two vertices associated with it. Okay, these edges, or they have one or two vertices associated with it. These vertices we also call them as endpoints. All right. So what is a graph? It consists of a non-empty set. Okay, non-empty set of vertices, or you call them also as nodes, and then it consists of a set of edges. Each edge will have either one or two vertices, which are also called as endpoints. All right. Let us take a simple graph example. For example, a computer network, let us say. A computer network can be modeled using a graph in which the vertices of the graph represent the, let us say, the data centers are represented by the vertices. Okay. And the communication links. Any computer network will always have some communication links, and these communication links are represented, let us say, by the edges. That's a simple example, a graph that represents the computer network. Okay, now let us see how we can pictorially represent a graph. Now let me take some simple graph. These are the nodes, or you call it as the vertices. Okay, these are your edges. I'm just drawing a simple graph, a random graph. Okay, no particular example as such. Let's say I'm doing something like this. I'll give some name for all these words. These are all your A, B, C, D, E, F, G. These are all nothing but your set of vertices. So our vertices forms the set A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And we also have edges. If you look at here, AB is an edge. Okay. BC is an edge. AC is an edge. This CD is an edge. DE is an edge. EF is an edge. FG is an edge. DG is an edge. Okay. Now this is an example of a simple example of a simple graph. This is how we define graph. This is how we represent a graph. Any doubts so far? Are you all able to follow me? Can I have some response?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good, good. All right. So now let us look into a few more, different types of graphs or a few more terminologies. Let us look into that. These are the edges. Okay. Now first I will take up what is called as a simple graph. What you are seeing above, that is this example, is a very good example of a simple graph. So what do we mean by a simple graph? A graph in which each edge connects two different vertices, okay, and where no two edges should connect the same pair of vertices. That is very important. You call such a graph as a simple graph. Each edge connects two different vertices, okay, and no two edges connect the same pair of vertices. Then you call it as a simple graph. No two edges should connect the same pair of vertices. That means you should not have, this is an example. What we have seen here, this one is an example of a simple graph. Why we call it as a simple graph? Because each edge, CD, connects two different vertices. CD is connecting C and D. The edge AB connects A and B. EF connects E and F. FG connects F and G. No two edges are connecting the same pair of vertices. That means between every pair of vertices, you just have only one single edge. Such a graph, you call it as a simple graph. I'll put down one more graph. Any doubts? This is another simple graph. Suppose I name it like this, A, B, C, D and E. Between every pair of vertices, how many edges you have? You have only one edge, correct? There are no two edges between the same pair of vertices. Suppose between A and B, you have just one edge. Between A and C are the vertices. You have just one edge. C and D, there is only one edge. B and D, there is only one edge. Okay, no two edges connect the same. That means between the C and D, let us say, there are no edges only. That's also okay. But there are no two edges connecting the same pair of vertices. Such a graph, you call it as a simple graph. We have another type of graph, which you call it as, all these definitions, notes I will be passing on to you all, so don't worry about that. Multigraphs. What do we mean by multigraphs? Graphs that may have multiple edges connecting the same vertices. What do I mean? Multiple edges connecting the same vertices. That means between between two vertices, you may have multiple edges. Such a graph, you call it as a multi-graph. Okay, let me take an example. I'll show you an example. One second. So let's take an example for a multi-graph. What did I say? Between any two pair of vertices, you can have multiple edges. Then you call it as a multi-graph. Okay, let me take an example. Okay, some edges, some vertices I have taken. These are the edges. Okay, now let me give some names to these vertices. Okay, these are the vertices. Now, this is a simple graph because between any pair of two vertices, you have just one edge. Now, there can be chances that between the same pair of vertices, you will have multiple edges. Something like this I have. That means what? Between B and C, I already have this edge, correct? I am taking one more edge like this between B and C. Such a graph, you call it as a multigraph. Multiple edges between the same pair of vertices, D and E. Between D and E, see here, between D and D, you have already one edge, correct? Let me have one more edge I can have like this. One more edge I can have like this. So there are three edges between D and E. Such a graph, you call it as a multigraph. Clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Good, good. Next, we will take up what is a loop. Okay, what are loops? Graph may contain edges that connect a vertex to itself. Okay, even vertex to itself. Suppose this is a graph. This is a graph. Okay, simple graph I have taken. This is A, B, C. Let me name it something. Okay, A, B, C, D. It may an edge that connects a vertex to itself. Suppose I have like this, or whether you put an arrow or not. Okay, like this. Then this is called as a loop. Graphs may have loops and multiple edges connecting the same pair of vertices or a vertex to itself. That means if a graph has multiple edges, so here if you see it has multiple edges, it has a loop, then such a graph is called as a pseudograph. What is a pseudograph? Graphs that may contain loops, that may contain multigraphs, that may contain multiple edges between the same pair of vertices. Such graphs you call it as pseudographs. All right. So what did we learn? We learned what is simple graph. We learned what is multigraph. We learned what is loops. We learned what is pseudograph. Now let us move on to the next one, which is called as directed graph. Directed graphs are also called as, we have seen this in the representation of relations. You remember that? How do we represent relation using directed graph? We have looked at directed graphs there also. Directed graphs are also called as digraphs. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is going to contain a set of not just edges, but we call it as directed edges or arcs. All right. That means you are going to show every edge will have some arrow or the direction which indicates where does that particular edge start and where does it end. For example, if I say U comma V, that means the edge starts at U and ends at V. All right. So suppose I'll take an example here. If I show like this, suppose A, B, C, D. All right, I'm showing some arrows. So far we saw graphs wherein there was no arrow at all. That means if you are not showing any arrow, then you call it as an undirected graph. Whereas when you show some arrows, directed graphs or digraph will always have some directed edges. Directed edges means there is going to be a arrow on each of the edge. It shows a direction from which vertex to which vertex you are trying to move, or from which node to which other node you are trying to move. That is what is meant by directed graphs or digraph. Look at here, we have an edge. This is from that edge starts at A. This is A comma B. That means what? This edge means what? It starts at A and ends at B. Okay, it starts at A and ends at B. Here also it starts at A. This one A to D. It ends at D because we have shown an arrow like this. I can also have something like this. That means it starts at C and ends at D. Let me take an arrow between B and C. I will take like this. Okay, which means it starts at C, it ends at B. Such edges or such graphs, you call it as a directed graph. Here also you can have the next one which I will be touching upon is. You can also have what is called directed multigraphs. What is a directed multigraph? What is a multigraph? We have already learned what is a multigraph. This is what we have seen. That means between any pair of vertices, you can have multiple edges. You can have multiple edges between the same pair of vertices. That is what you call it as multigraph. Directed multigraph means what? Directed edges are directed, but still you can have multiple edges between the same pair of vertices. Let me take an example. Okay, this is a simple graph I have taken. A to B, I am marking it. This is a directed multigraph. That means between A to B, I need not have only one single edge. I can have multiple edges. I can have something like this. I can have something like this. This is called as a directed multigraph. All right. Let's say between C and D. See here, C and D, I'm showing one edge. Okay. I can have one more edge like this. All right. So from C to D also I have an edge. I can have show one more edge, D to C. So D to C I have two edges and C to D I have one edge. This is called as a directed multigraph. These are all different types of the different ways in which you can represent the graph. The last one is what is called as mixed graph. What is a mixed graph? A graph which has both directed and undirected edges is called as a mixed graph. So some edges could be directed, some edges could be undirected, then you call such a graph is called as a mixed graph. So these are the different types of graphs that we are, the graph can be represented by using these various representations. All right. Now, next we will see what are the. Are you all able to follow me? Anyone in response?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yeah. A few more, definitions, and then we'll move on to the problems. Okay. Because without learning these things, you will not be able to follow how to do the problems. That's why. These are all basic introduction about graph theory. Next, we'll move on to. What happened? Okay. Next, we move on to what is called graph models. All right. Now, this what we had told so far about the graphs, different types of graphs we said, and this graph models is completely theory, but you'll have to know this. So notes on this, I will be passing it on. Probably when you come, I can share a copy to you all. Let us see that. Anyway, graph models. Now, this graphs can be used in a wide variety of models. Means what? We can use graphs to represent the different kind of models, like we can make use of graphs to represent social networks. Okay, we can make use of graph to represent communication networks. We can make use of graph to represent information networks. Then fourth one, we have software design applications. Then we have transportation models, or rather, sorry, transportation networks. Then we can also represent, make use of graphs to represent biological networks. We can also make use of graphs to represent some kind of tournaments. All right. Now, Let us take up each one of these. So graph models, you can make use of graphs to represent all these different types of networks. That is social networks, you can represent communication networks using graphs, you can represent information networks using graphs, software design application, transportation networks, biological networks, and you can also represent some kind of tournaments using graphs. First one, let us go into a little brief on each of these. How we can represent or what do we mean by social networks. Now these graphs are extremely used to model social structures. Based on social networks means what? You try to represent some kind of relationship, okay, between people or between groups of people. That is what is called as a social network. Social, all of us are knowing everyday social network. We have a different type of social media. That is all nothing but your social network. How do you represent social network? Using graph. Graphs can be used to model these social networks or social structures based on different kind of relationships between people, or you can have some relationship between different groups of people. Now, these social structures and the graphs that represent them, we call them as social networks. Now, when I talk about social networks, every individual, I said it is relationship between people, is it not? So, here every individual or every individual person, or it can, when I say a group, it can be an organization, it can be a company, okay, it can be a department. Either an individual or an organization are represented by the vertices in the graph. The relationship between the people or the group or the organization is represented by the edges. Please mute yourselves. I don't want disturbance like this. Okay. Now, when I say we are representing graphs or social networks using graphs, social network means, as I told you, it is nothing but you are trying to represent some relationship between the people or the group of people. All right. Now, when I do that, how do I represent this kind of a relationship between people using graphs? This individual person or the individual person will become the vertices. These edges will be represent relationships between the individual persons or the group will be represented as edges. For example, what are the examples we can take for social networks? I can take something called as friendship groups, or I say friendship graphs. So friendship graph means how do you try to represent it? Let us say I'll draw a graph something like this. Something like this I have drawn. Each of these vertices, I am naming it as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. They are all friends or people. Okay. So whether if A is a friend to B, then I put an edge from A to B. If A is a friend of C or A is known to C, how acquainted are you? Acquaintance graph also we can call it, or you can call it as friendship graph. Okay, if A is a friend of C or C is a friend of A, then I put an edge between A and C. If C is a friend of D, then I show it with respect to C and D. This is how I represent a friendship graph. Friendship graph wherein we are trying to show it as an example for the social networks. All right. Now, you can take one more example under social networks, which is nothing but we call it as influence graph. Influence graph means what? Now, when you try to study some kind of, when you take up some studies on management, you will come to know or come to study with what is called as a group behavior. That means it is observed that certain people can influence the thinking of others. If I tell you something, you get influenced by me, and then you also start thinking in that lines. That is called as a one person influencing the other. Some of you may get influenced so much by your parents. Some of you may get influenced by your colleagues, by your friends. If I try to say something to you, then you may feel, okay, what she says is right. Let me also think on those lines. That means what's happening? The other person is trying to influence you. Correct? That kind of influence, that is what you call it as a trying to represent such influence. We can also call it as an influence graph. A directed graph can be used in order to represent a, oh, sorry, I wrote it in the wrong place. Directed graph can be used to represent a influence graph. Each person is going to be represented by the vertex. Person is represented by the vertex. And what is represented by the edge? Which person, if suppose a person A is influencing person B, yes? When a person A is influencing person B, then that is represented as a directed edge. Suppose I put an edge from A to B, that means B is getting influenced by A, or A is influencing B. This loop, this influence graph will not contain any loops. It will not contain, because I cannot influence my own self. That is, we are not considering that. Nor it will contain multiple directed edges. It will not contain that also. Okay, these two will not be present in an influence graph. This is an example. So these two, we saw friendship graph. We also saw what is called as a influence graph. So these two are examples of social networks. So social network means what? You are trying to represent relationship between people or between different groups of people. Then you call it as a social network. Okay. What was the next thing? Second thing that we had represented as a communication network. So let's come to that. So the second kind of model is communication network. So what is a communication network? So all right. So we can, model different communication networks using graphs. All right. Using vertices will represent, let us say, vertices are used to represent the devices, and then I make use of edges to represent the communication link between the different devices. For example, one important example of a communication network is what is called as call graph. Call graph means what? Graph can be used to model the telephone calls made in a network, such as a long distance telephone call. Okay. So we make use of a directed multigraph in order to model a call graph. All right. So directed multigraph means what? Why are you using this? You are trying to use a directed multigraph in order to model the calls where each telephone number is going to be represented by a vertex, and each telephone call is going to be represented by a edge, or we call it as a, we make use of a, since I said directed multigraph, we make use of a directed edge in order to represent a call. So the edge representing a call starts at the telephone number from which the call was made and ends at the telephone number to which the call was made. All right. Why do you need directed edges here? We need directed edges because the direction in which the call is made matters a lot. Whether I call you or whether I have called you or you have called me. So that matters to us, is it not? That's the reason we make use of directed edge. And multiple directed edge, I said we use because we want to represent each call made from a particular telephone number to a second number. So I said, what is a vertex here? Telephone number is a vertex. These are all telephone numbers. This is a telephone number. This is another telephone number. Okay. Now I said directed, multiple directed. That means I can make many calls to the same person. It is possible. Or that person can call me. That is also possible. Correct? That's why we make use of directed multigraphs in order to model the calls. So this is one of the example for a communication network. The third kind of model that we were talking of is, let us move on to the third one, which is nothing but our information networks. Information networks. The graphs can be used to model various networks that link particular type of information. For example can I take as web graph? What is a web graph? All of us know World Wide Web. It can be modeled as a directed graph. When I say World Wide Web is modeled as a directed graph, what will happen here? Every web page that you want to check is represented as a vertex, where an edge starts at the web page A, let us say, and it ends at the web page B. That is an edge. If there is a link from A to B, suppose I have a link here. This is a web page, this is a web page. Okay, this edge is representing what? That there is an edge starts at web page A and ends at B. If you have a link between A and B, then that is how you try to show it. One more example of an information network is citation graphs. What is a citation? Anyone? Can anybody tell me what is a citation? Suppose you are writing a paper or you are writing your project. You put lot of references like this. Is it not? Where somewhere you have put 2, somewhere you have put 5. What are all this? When you go to your reference section, correct? Under that, the second paper, you would have put this particular reference. Fifth paper, you would have put this particular reference. In between your text, when you're writing your project, somewhere I would have mentioned this number, that I have referred to this number. That is what you say it as citing this particular paper. You have cited this particular paper in your project by representing it like this. That is called as citations. Okay. Now this citations graph can be used to represent citations in different types of documents, including our academic papers, patents, some kind of legal documents. Everywhere you can make use of these graphs. So every document, each document is represented as a vertex. And an edge is represented if there is an edge from one document to a second document, if the first document cites the second document in the citation list. Okay, and a citation graph is always a directed graph. There are no loops because you cannot cite your own self. I mean, that we are not considering here. We can do that anyways. So a citation graph is actually a directed graph without loops, or you can have without loops or multiple edges. Okay, loops and multiple edges are not there in case of direct citation graph. All right, next, the next type of model that we had listed out was software design applications. What is this? Now, this graph models are useful tools in the design of any software that you want to design. Okay, graph models play a very major role. There is a kind of graph called as, example I'm taking, module dependency graph. What is a module dependency graph? This provides a kind of tool for understanding how different modules of a program interact. So how are the different, when you take a program, right, there will be different modules in this program. How are these different modules going to interact with each other? That is the module dependency graph. In this graph, each module is represented by a vertex. Module is represented by a vertex, and there is a directed edge from a module to a second module. If these two modules are connected, that is, if the second module depends on the first, then we are going to put a different put an edge between each of these modules. Right? That is about software design applications. Let's move to the next page. Now, the next thing that we saw was Next thing that we saw was transportation networks. Yes. Now, transportation networks, graphs can be used to model many different types of transportation networks, including I can model road networks, I can model air networks, I can model rail networks. Okay, I can model some kind of shipping networks. So these are all different types of networks which we can make use of to represent. I mean, graphs can be used to represent such networks. Example, let me take one or two example. Airline routes. So these airline routes can be represented using graph. Each vertex will represent, let us say, one of the airport. Okay, so directed edge is used to represent edge, or I put it as directed edge. This is used to represent the flight. Each flight going from the vertex representing the departure airport to the vertex representing the destination airport. Suppose I have something like this. So each of these airport vertex is representing the airports. These are all airports. And when I put a directed edge, so A is the source airport, D is the destination airport. So the flight will departure from A and land at D. This is how I try to represent a airline route. We can also similarly show a road networks. Graph can be used to model the road networks also. In such models, what will be the vertices? Represent intersections. Edges will represent the routes. Okay, undirected edges will represent two-way roads. Directed edges will represent, you can make that make that kind of representation also, wherein you have undirected edges, they can make use of two-way roads. All right, directed edges can make use of one-way roads. So this way you can try to represent the make use of graphs to represent the transportation networks. So it can be airline routes, it can be road networks. As I told it, you can have rail networks, you can have shipping routes. All these kind of routes can be represented using graphs. The next kind of model that we are going to have is biological networks. Many aspects of the biological science, okay, can be modeled using graphs. One of the very important graph that we can consider as an example here is the protein interaction graphs. Every protein is represented by a vertex. So the vertex is going to represent a protein. Which are the pair of proteins that interact? All right, that is represented by the edges. All right, suppose I have something like this. So this is some RRP41. This is one kind of a protein. This is another kind of protein. How are they interacting? I'm just taking a random example. RRP45. These are all different components of a protein which are trying to interact with each other to form some kind of a chemical reaction. That itself can be represented as a something like this. We can show represented as a graph. Next, I said the last model, we can try to represent different kind of tournaments using graph. Now, graph can be used to model different kinds of tournaments. Okay, one important kind of tournament is called as round robin tournament. Any idea what is a round robin tournament?
Time quantum.
Okay, I think you are answering with respect to OS. Yeah, a tournament where each team plays every other team exactly once and no ties are allowed. Okay, such a tournament you call it as a round robin team. Every team plays with every other team. Only once. Such a tournament, you call it as a round robin tournament. Such tournaments can be modeled using again directed graphs where each team is represented by a vertex. So vertex represents a team. All right, and A comma B. Suppose there is an edge. This is an edge if team is represented by a vertex, then A comma B is an edge if team A beats team B. Okay, it is simple directed graph containing no loops or no multiple directed edges. Loops and multiple directed edges are not there in case of tournament or the round robin tournament. You also have one more type of tournament which is called single elimination tournament. A tournament where each contestant is eliminated, after one loss. That means if you are lost a play or a game, then you are out of the tournament. Then such tournaments are called as single elimination tournaments. There also every game, vertex can be used to represent game. Directed edge can be used to connect a game to the next game. The winner of this game is played on. That means if you lose, you will come out of that particular. Anyway, these are the different models of the graph. So what are the models that we learned? We saw social networks, communication networks, information networks, software design application, transportation networks, biological networks, and tournaments. These are all the different networks that can be modeled using graphs. Okay. So next we will be now taking up. Any doubts so far? Let me check with you all once. Any doubts, anyone? Yeah.
Ma'am, in transportation network,
yes,
we can have multiple edges, no, ma'am?
Multiple, what did I say? Transportation, yeah, tell me.
Between two vertices, we can have multiple edges, no, ma'am?
Yes, you can have. I said no, we can have undirected edges which are representing two-way roads.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, if you are making it directed, then you can show directed edges to represent one way. Another directed edge you can represent to show the other way around. Still, it is possible.
Okay,
it is
thank
possible.
you.
Yes. Yeah. Any doubts so far? Shall we proceed further? See, these are all the different basic introduction, definitions, and terminologies that is required for all of you. In order to learn the further things that we'll be going on. Going further, we'll be learning many things which is required to solve the problems. So please concentrate and learn it. Don't. Otherwise, if you miss your classes or if you're not listening, then things will become difficult for you. These are because without all this basic introduction and definitions, I cannot go further into the problem. A lot of problems are there. We'll have to get into the problems and solve everything. So before that, these basic terminologies is required. A few more terminologies are there. Let us take up that now one by one quickly. Next, we'll be seeing us. I want you all to ask me doubts then and there. Stop me, please. Don't think, okay, this is online and we cannot stop because I'm at a different screen looking at this white screen here. So please ask me wherever you have some doubts. Stop and ask me. Okay. Now let us move on to some more terminology in the graph and some special types of graphs again. Okay. This is again important. After this, we'll be moving to the graph terminology and special types of graph. Now, let us take some basic terminologies. Now, two vertices are said to be, first definition let us take, are said to be adjacent. What are called as adjacent vertices? Let us say two vertices U and V, okay, in an undirected graph. Undirected graph G are called adjacent, or you can also call them as neighbors. Okay, if U and V are endpoints of an edge, I'm writing it so that something will get into it. If I go on talking, then probably it will become difficult for you to follow up, right? So two vertices U and B are called adjacent, or they are said to be neighbors in an undirected graph. If U and B are the endpoints, that means they are the vertices of an edge E. Okay, so that means this is U, this is V, this is the edge E, correct? So U and V in this case are said to be adjacent. All right, adjacent means what? Next to each other, is it not? Close to you, who's your neighbor? Whoever is close to you is your neighbor. So that's why they are called as adjacent, or they are called as neighbors. So you have an edge which is connecting these two vertices, U and V. Then U and V are called neighbors, or U and V are called as adjacent vertices. E is said to connect U and V. Okay, E is an edge. E is connecting U and V. All right, that is one important definition. The next one we are learning here is, what do we mean by neighborhood of V? Neighborhood of V means set of all neighbors. Neighbors of a vertex V is called as neighborhood of V. It is represented by N of V. This is called all the set of, if you know, who are all the vertices that are close to me. Okay, basically, who are all my neighbors? Put together, all my neighbors put together, I call them as neighborhood of V. We'll also see some examples, so don't worry. Okay, next is, what do we mean by this is very, very important, degree of a vertex in an undirected graph. Degree of the vertex is nothing but the number of edges incident with it. Okay, incident means what? Wherever it is starting from. How many edges are starting from that particular vertex? That is what you call it as D. Let me take an example. It is always represented by degree of V, or degree of V. Okay. Number of edges incident with it means how many edges are starting from that particular vertex. You call it as the degree of that vertex. Okay. Let me take an example. Let me take a graph. Okay, this is a graph. Can you tell me, anyone, what is the degree of A?
2, ma'am.
Yeah, degree of A is 2. Why? Because there are two edges that are incident. Incident means you are starting from A to F is one edge, A to B is another edge. So your degree of A is 2. What is the degree of B?
4.
This is one edge, BC is one edge, BF is one edge, BE is another edge, BA is one edge. So degree of B is 4. What is the degree of D?
1.
Degree of D is 1. What is the degree of G?
0.
G? 0. Right? Okay. Suppose I had an edge like that. What's the degree of C?
4.
Yes. Degree of C is, whenever you have a loop, it will contribute to one more value. Okay, that itself is considered as one edge again, because it's an edge to itself. Vertex, edge starting from that vertex to itself. So you're here in this case considering the loop as well. One loop is one edge, 2, 3, 4. That is C to C, C to B, C to F, C to E. So you will have 4. So that is called as degree. It's very important. All right. Next. Tell me the neighborhood of A. What is neighborhood? Set of all the vertices that are neighbor to A.
B
B
and
and
F.
F.
B, comma, F. We always represent it as a set. It is a set. Okay. Whenever you represent a set, set is always represented like this. So you have to represent like that. What is the neighborhood of B?
A, F, E, C.
E, F, E, F, E, C.
B. You tell me.
F, E,
A, F, E, C.
Ma'am, degree of C is 5, no, ma'am.
Yes, 5, 5. We left out one edge. Correct. 1 C to D, C to C, C to B, C to F, C to E. 5. Correct it is.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thanks. A, F. What was yeah, neighborhood of B. Can you answer me? A, F, C, E. That's all.
E, ma'am.
E is put.
E.
A, F, E, C. That's all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What is neighborhood of G?
Null.
It's a null set.
None.
Null set. It's a null set. Okay. Sorry, I should not write null set like this. Yeah, it's a null set. Is it clear to you all? What is degree and what is neighborhood? Any degree which is of 0, any vertex of degree 0 is called as isolated. A vertex is called as isolated if the degree of that vertex is equal to 0. All right. So in that case, we saw our degree vertex G degree is 0. So we call that G vertex as this is isolated vertex. Then any vertex, there is one more term called as pendant. Please note pendant. Pendant means any vertex which has degree of 1. Then you call it as pendant. Degree of D, if you see here, D is a pendant because degree of D is only 1. That's all. Clear to you all? Any doubt so far? We saw what is adjacent, neighborhood, degree, isolated, pendant. Please learn all these terminologies properly because we'll be using all this in the problems going further. Okay? Today's class, this class is only theory definitions because without this we can't move further. That's it. Okay. Next we will take up okay. Next is called what we call it as the handshaking theorem. Okay, there is something called as handshaking theorem, which states that 2m is equal to summation of v belonging to v degree of v, where m is nothing but the edges of a graph. Right? So we have a graph G is equal to V comma E. This is an undirected graph. All right. So this is an undirected graph with M edges. Then degree of V will always be equal to an even number, that is 2 times M. Now I'll give an example so it will become clear to you. If a graph has 10 vertices, each of degree 6, how many edges are there? Can you tell me? If a graph has 10 vertices, each of degree 6, how many edges are there? Can you tell me, anyone? Using this theorem. Sum of the degree of vertices is given by, this is nothing but your summation of degree of that graph. Okay. So summation of all your degree, summation of, if you add up the degree of all the vertices, then it should be m into 2 times of that. Can you tell me answer for this? M is nothing but the number of edges. What are we given here? We are given 10 vertices of each degree 6. So what is the total number of total degree? Can you tell me? Are you all there?
60.
12.
Yeah, 60. 60 is nothing but your sum of the degree of the vertices. Sum of the degree. That means if there are 4 vertex, each of the 4 vertex, you have to find out what is the degree. Take the sum of that. That is what we are saying. Sum of the degree of the vertices. Now, what does the question says? What is the question? How many edges are there in a graph with 10 vertices, each of degree 6? Correct? So, sum of the degree of the vertices is nothing but 6 into 10, that is 60. Now, according to our theorem, this 2m is equal to 60. Because we have already seen that sum of the degree of v is equal to 2m. So, m is what? M is the number of edges. 60 by 2, that will be equal
30.
to 30. So that will be your number of edges of this graph. That is called as a handshaking theorem. All right.
Okay.
Right. I think we'll stop here. Today afternoon, I'll be taking one more class, extra class today afternoon. As per the timetable, I think timetable is also shared with you. But listen to me, please. Instead of starting at 1:45 or 1:50, I will be starting by 2:10. Am I clear to you all? So don't wait from 1:45 itself. 2:10, I will be starting the class. Is it clear to you all? I want all of you to attend because we will be dealing with some important problems and definitions and concepts. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Answer your attendance. Anaga?
Yes, ma'am.
Abhilash?
Yes, ma'am.
Akhil?
Yes, ma'am.
Akrut?
Yes, ma'am.
Anusha?
Yes, ma'am.
Praveen?
Present, ma'am.
Arifullah?
Yes, ma'am.
Renakraj?
Present, ma'am.
Banu Prakash?
Yes, ma'am.
Bhargav? Rahmatullah?
Ma'am.
Chaitra? Chandana?
Present, ma'am.
Charan?
Yes, ma'am.
Darshan?
Present, ma'am.
Diksha?
Yes, ma'am.
Dakshayani?
Present, ma'am.
Kishan?
Present, ma'am.
Harshit?
Yes, ma'am.
Hemlata?
Present, ma'am.
Uma? Uma? Jayant?
Ma'am, Bhargav present, ma'am.
Okay. Jayant?
Present, ma'am.
Divya?
Yes, ma'am.
Kaushik?
Present, ma'am.
Lakshmi? Lavanya? Lavanya? Manish?
Present, ma'am.
Manoj?
Yes, ma'am.
Mohit?
Yes, ma'am.
Naval?
Yes, ma'am.
Navya?
Yes, ma'am.
Nikhil?
Present, ma'am.
Ranindra?
Present, ma'am.
Pavan?
Present, ma'am.
Pooja? Purnima?
Yes, ma'am.
Raman?
Yes, ma'am.
Rashmi?
Yes, ma'am.
Rupak,
Yes, ma'am.
Sai Kumar,
Yes, ma'am.
Samir,
Present, ma'am.
Santosh, Sadab,
Present, ma'am.
Sharan, Sham,
Yes, ma'am.
Sheetal,
Yes, ma'am.
Shivani,
Present, ma'am.
Soumya, Spurti,
Present, ma'am.
Vishnu, Sugandhini,
Present, ma'am.
Sushma,
Yes, ma'am.
Sushmita BS, Sushmita U,
Present, ma'am.
Tirtha, Tripti,
Present, ma'am.
Harsha,
Present, ma'am.
Veena. All right, so we'll meet again in the afternoon at 2:10. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.